Welcome to Super Showdowns, the ultimate destination for epic battles and legendary showdowns. Join us as we put iconic superheroes, villains, and mythological figures against each other in thrilling matches of strength, strategy, and skill. The blackened void beyond the edges of known space trembled. On the distant, forgotten planet of Arrakos 7, an ancient celestial artifact had activated, a massive structure of obsidian and glowing blue veins buried beneath the planet's crust. The artifact pulsed with a rhythm older than time, a frequency that rippled across galaxies, and someone answered the call. That someone was Apocalypse. In Zabanur, first of the mutants and bearer of celestial inheritance, emerged through a trans-spatial rift like a living god. His armor shifted with ancient tech, glowing with unreadable glyphs. His voice was a thunderclap, layered with digital echoes. This world and the power beneath it belongs to the strong. I shall claim it and reshape the galaxy in my image. But he wasn't alone. Half a star system away, tearing through a solar flare on his massive space hog, came Lobo, the intergalactic bounty hunter known as the Main Man. His bike roared like a metal dragon, trailed by the wreckage of 3-star cruisers and a dismembered space hydra strapped to his exhaust pipe. His bounty, a 1 billion cred contract for an Omega-class tyrant interfering with cosmic energy flows. He burped, tossed a glowing bottle of Czarnian brew into a black hole and grinned. Omega-class, huh? Sounds like a party. Lobo crash-landed on Arrakos 7 like a comet, dust billowing into the air as his bike skidded across volcanic plains. He dismounted, adjusting his skull belt buckle and lighting a cigar made from phoenix feathers. His eyes glinted under his red lenses as he spotted the towering figure of Apocalypse manipulating the artifact's core. Yo, Blue Chin, you're interrupting some intergalactic harmony, and that's costing someone big creds. So how about you surrender real polite, and I don't vaporize you for sport? Apocalypse turned slowly, unfazed. You reek of death and chaos. You are a roach beneath my boot, persistent, irritating, but destined to be crushed. Lobo exhaled smoke and cracked his knuckles. Roach? Pal, I wiped out my entire race because they annoyed me. You think some Thanos cosplay with a god complex is gonna scare me? Lightning danced in the sky as the artifact pulsed faster. Apocalypse raised a hand, causing the artifact to generate a massive construct, a shifting, humming machine infused with celestial data. It extended tendrils of raw energy into the air, rewriting the molecular structure of the environment. He was preparing to reshape the planet, using its core as a new seed world, a bastion of survival of the fittest mutants ruled by his iron will. But Lobo just yawned. I'm not big on evolutionary lectures, bub, so here's the deal. You stop whatever freaky space ritual this is, or I gut you with your own ribcage. Without another word, Apocalypse unleashed a graviton blast from his palm. Lobo was hurled through 3 rock formations, laughing the whole way.
Hey you, don't just watch. Subscribe please.
From the rubble, Lobo emerged, his body riddled with shrapnel, already healing. Oh, you hit hard. That almost tickled. My turn. He whipped out a plasma chain laced with black hole shrapnel and hurled it like a lasso. It wrapped around Apocalypse's midsection, glowing with violent green energy. Lobo charged forward, slamming into the mutant warlord with the force of a collapsing planet. Apocalypse slid back, denting the mountain behind him, then began morphing. His body grew in size, muscle density increasing, armor shifting into a new configuration with weaponized limbs. You are impressive, but I have survived for millennia. You are a footnote in my story. Lobo grinned. Footnote this, blue boy. Unbeknownst to both, the artifact was beginning to reach critical mass. Apocalypse's manipulation had activated a forgotten celestial defense protocol, one that recognized both him and Lobo as threats. A new power surged from the artifact, forming a gate, not to another world, but to the Convergence Realm, a pocket alternate dimension of limitless battlefields where only one being could walk out whole. Both warriors were pulled into it mid-fight, Lobo's bike vanishing in a flash of neon flame, Apocalypse transforming mid-teleport. Suddenly, they stood on a floating continent in the sky. Oceans of stars boiled below, and the heavens were riddled with broken moons. Here time was elastic, energy obeyed willpower, and only one rule applied: fight until one no longer stands. Lobo looked around, laughing. Now this is a party. Apocalypse's eyes narrowed. I shall end your recklessness here, aberration. The strong will inherit this universe, and you are not the strong. The battlefield trembled as the two immortals lunged at each other. And somewhere far away, unseen watchers observed. Cosmic entities whispered bets. The Celestials watched in silence. Because when an immortal tyrant and the main man go head-to-head, only madness can follow. The skies above the Convergence Realm churned with the weight of war. Lobo and Apocalypse stood amidst fractured stone and rivers of cosmic plasma, facing each other like titans sculpted by different gods. One born of celestial might and eons of conquest. The other, a walking catastrophe of pure Czarnian chaos with no master and no fear. A silent second passed, then all hell broke loose. Apocalypse struck first, his arm transforming into a colossal blade. He moved faster than thought, slashing a glowing arc through Lobo's torso. Blood sprayed, black, smoking, and alive, but Lobo didn't fall. Instead, he laughed. Gonna have to do better than that, Stretch Armstrong. He roared forward, headbutting Apocalypse with enough force to crack the floating continent beneath them. Rocks fell into the starry abyss as Lobo swung his chain, wrapping it around Apocalypse's throat and yanking hard. Apocalypse was pulled forward, only to smash both fists into Lobo's face, caving in his skull. For a moment, Lobo's head knit itself back together with a sickening crunch. His eyes burned with lunatic joy. See, that's the thing about me. I'm the last Czarnian. You don't get to kill me. You just get to piss me off. Realizing brute force alone wouldn't end this, Apocalypse activated his celestial enhancements. His body began to glow with cosmic runes. His voice echoed across the dimension. You are an error in the system. I am evolution's will. Apocalypse. Energy beams erupted from his body, disintegrating mountains, shattering gravity itself. He flew high, conjuring a black hole with a gesture and hurling it like a spear toward Lobo. Lobo grabbed his bike mid-summon, roared across the sky and punched the black hole. It imploded in his hand, tearing apart his arm, but within seconds it grew back, and he was laughing again. You call that an apocalypse? I've had hangovers meaner than you. Then came the real counterattack. Lobo snapped his fingers, triggering a remote-controlled payload stashed in his bike, a neutron bomb laced with Czarnian soul matter. He grinned. Boom, baby. The explosion ripped through the Convergence Realm, vaporizing Apocalypse's lower body. But the tyrant did not fall. He floated in a cloud of restructured molecules, rebuilding himself faster than the eye could follow. He grew wings of metal. His fists became particle cannons, and from his forehead he unleashed a psychic barrage that slammed into Lobo's mind. Lobo dropped to one knee, blood pouring from his nose. His memories were assaulted, flashes of Czarnia, of the genocide he caused, of the emptiness inside him. Apocalypse hovered above, voice cold and triumphant. Even your madness can be caged. Your soul is a weapon. I will bend it. But then Lobo smiled again, even in the pain, even with his soul bare. Thing is, I like the cage, bub. It's got beer and loud music. With a scream that cracked the air, Lobo leapt high, dodged a cannon blast, bit Apocalypse's throat, and ripped out a chunk of living tech with his teeth. Apocalypse fell hard. Both warriors were broken, barely standing. Apocalypse rose one last time, towering, eyes burning. I am eternal. Lobo lit a cigar with a spark from his broken bike, wiped blood from his face, and spat. So am I. Then he launched forward, faster than he'd moved the entire fight. He slammed Apocalypse into the ground with a chain-wrapped punch, then stomped him through the floating continent. The two plummeted, smashing through layers of glowing rock and reality until they reached the lowest level, a molten core of raw convergence energy. And there, Lobo pulled out the last of his Czarnian weaponry, a soul-shatter grenade forged from the remains of a dead god. He jammed it into Apocalypse's chest. No hard feelings, bub. You put up a hell of a fight, but this is where your survival of the fittest hits a wall. Apocalypse reached up one last time, but it was too late. Lobo triggered the grenade. A pulse of reality-warping force consumed them both. Silence, then flickers of existence. The Convergence Realm stitched itself back together. Lobo floated upward, charred, missing an arm, half his body regenerating midair. He groaned, rolled his neck, and pulled another cigar from his boot. Well, that was fun. Now where's the nearest bar? Below him, nothing remained of Apocalypse. Not his armor, not his body, not even his essence. The celestial tech had been shattered, scattered into unrecognizable fragments. The last words of Apocalypse echoed briefly in the void, proud, stubborn, defiant. But even they faded. Lobo had done the impossible.